Om Tridevibhyo Namaha.
Om Tridevi Namaha.
Namaste, everyone, and welcome back to our Saturday session. Several of you called me in the last 2-3 weeks about doubts, etc., that you had with whatever we have been learning. So, especially one of the themes that emerged was keeping discipline in life, in sadhana, etc. So, I thought let's pick up a theme of discipline of a sadhak, and then within that address all the questions that you have about the various things that we are looking at. So, I will throw the floor open to all of you, so you can pick up and choose your questions that you had for today, and let's get ahead with it. Who wants to start?
I would like to start, Dada. Pranam.
Namaste.
It has been quite a while, close to a year, that we are under your guidance and mentorship of being a sadhak. And it's been a beautiful inner work journey. And so in this context, something that has been, while we have been experiencing, I would like you to encapsulate what could be the discipline that a sadhak needs to hold in this entire journey.
Makes sense. Lovely question, Sangeeta. And, your clarity and results is your effort. And I keep saying this, that the more effort a sadhak puts, the more God supports them. So God bless you for all the support that you've been giving your own self through your sadhana. Now, your question is amazing, actually, and it actually can encapsulate the entire spirit of being a sadhak. And this is a very misunderstood concept. Let me start with some funny anecdotes for all of you. Have you seen there are several people around us who walk around and claim to be spiritual? They have this whole thing of I am wearing beads, and then there is this Rudraksha sort of attempt. And I'm not saying that there is anything wrong with wearing beads or Rudraksha, but that Adambar is not sadhana, right? Or you claiming that, I stay away from religion, I am very spiritual. Okay,
Yes.
what does that even mean? Because a very important aspect of sadhana and spiritual life or adhyatma is to even understand God, nature, all of these things. So there are several misunderstandings about sadhana, and this stems from the indiscipline of a sadhak, Sangeeta.
Okay.
Now, what are the indisciplines? And through the indiscipline, I will explain the discipline of a sadhak. The first principle a sadhak needs to master is having clarity. What is the adhyatmic journey? What is the spiritual journey itself? Right? Now, in our Sanatana tradition, coming from the entire Vedic origins and all the way down to the various tantra that Shiva himself originated, there is a certain meaning of sadhana to be understood. If you were following Buddhism, there is a certain way that it needs to be understood. And there are so many other practices by which you can be. I will stay to the context of what I operate in, Sanatana and the old Vedic tradition. For us, the biggest clarity that we need to have is of the word sadhana itself, Sangeeta, and others. Right? So, using Hindi a little bit, man ko sadhana, tan ko sadhana, or jivan ko sadhana. How do we tighten up, right? So, loosely translated or transliterated, that word sadhana, to man ko sadhana, or to sadha the mana, is basically to tighten up your mana, tighten up your physical life, tightening up life itself. That's the first clarity that we need as a sadhak. Right? And that clarity then means that sitting down for 30 minutes, 40 minutes and doing some japa, doing some mantra is japa, doing some meditation or dhyana, doing some prakriya of yoga, that doesn't entail sadhana. Your entire life has to be one of a sadhak. Isn't it? To which there is a thing that I keep saying several times in my video and in our classes also, I've said this. Shri Krishna explains that the best. So a sadhak has to understand and have the clarity that I am on the path of three things. Number one, I am on the path of Jnana Yoga, which means what? To understand nature, to understand the Pancha Mahabhutas, to understand what is a jiva, which is each of us in that focus. Within the jiva, then there are the vikaras, the gunas which have risen, or the value systems that we carry, the gunas which have still not presented themselves, which is all our reactions and pratikriyas that can happen at different points in time. So that's the first aspect, to have understanding of Jnana Yoga. Whoever is the guru will give you that understanding through the tradition that they follow. If you're following a yoga tradition, if you're following a Vedanta tradition, if you're following a Nyaya Vaisheshika tradition, each of these darshanas or Sankhya each of these darshanas will give its understanding to the sadhak. So that clarity, Sangeeta, is very important. Then, what do I do with that understanding? Involve in karma yoga. Second, and that's what Sri Krishna stressed so much. In fact, his entire argument to Arjuna was, pick up your bow and do your karma. Because your Kshatriya dharma encourages you to do certain things. So understanding all our dharmas, Manushya dharma, Vishesha dharma, then our dharma towards devatas, rishis, and I've explained this so many times in various conversations, that all the rinas that we carry, we have a dharma towards that. So that's the second clarity that we need to have. And the third clarity we need to have is the concept of bhakti. And which is where there are some aspects of understanding Ishvara, and then our own definitions of Devis, Devatas, Navagrahas, their importance, why there have been personifications of these, which is a Maya definition. So when you see a statue or when you see a certain idol or an image, so that's a Maya version of the Ishwar, Devi, Devatas. Then there is the experience of the Devi or Devata, the japas that you do, the way you connect to them, the way your personal connection, personal love for them is, all of those. So understanding those. So that's the first discipline that we need to have, the clarity. Right, Sangeeta?
Yeah, this is really well explained. And it has a lot of connect to the classes, the sessions that we have been having with you, and experiencing each aspect of the Jnana Yoga, the yoga, how to follow our Karma Yoga in the existing chaos, and the Bhakti, the Japas, etc. All of them coming together to live the life of a sadhak.
Absolutely. Connect all of them. And living the life of the sadhak, which is the other side. So along with clarity, you need to have the Shuddhi. So that entire series that I have spoken about and that I also support you, which is speaking about how my sharirik or physical Shuddhi, environmental Shuddhi is, then my manasik Shuddhi, then my karmic Shuddhi, and my adhyatmic Shuddhi is. So the fundamental discipline of a sadhak is to carry clarity and Shuddhi. Clarity, because human beings operate out of intellect. Our buddhi has to support us. Our buddhi should not give way to ahankara. Our buddhi should give way to sadhana. The opposite of sadhana is ahankara.
You have explained that very well in a recent video about how doing karma, it leads to success, and the success leads to ahankara in many of us.
Yes.
And that is leading to the chaos. That's a very beautiful video that you have recently released this week.
Thank you. It came with all the conversations that all of us have been having. So, what I said very clearly there was, when success happens, if you're not a sadhak, ahankara will hit. Even for sadhaks, ahankara hit. I mean, look at Ravana, such a great sadhak. But when success came, he himself lost control. Such is the nature of ahankara. And even after being a sadhak, unless you are submitted to your Ishvara, to your Ishta Devata, Shraddha, Saburi, Samarpan, ahankara will come. Right? Hope that answers your question on discipline. What is the
Very
discipline?
well.
Sadhak. Okay.
Very well. Very beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for this.
So, Sangeeta or whoever has a follow-up question or a different question, we can take it up now.
So that I have one
Yes, Rashmi.
question. We are learning several practices from you, like Swara, Kriya, Sadhana, Japa. How do we integrate all of this in our day-to-day life, right? While, as you mentioned, that sadhana is not really just 30 minutes, but throughout our life. How do we integrate these practices that we are learning into our daily lives, and also at times balancing responsibilities and work life? How do we do that?
Okay. Lovely. Very important question. And this is actually a very relevant question for our busy modern lives. So, and I know some of you, sometimes you're working early morning, sometimes you're working evening, sometimes you keep shifting between all of those. Then there are family pressures. Beautiful. So let's understand this in two parts. I'll answer this question in two parts.
Sure.
Okay. The first part is the anubhav of sadhana itself. Right. And there I will not touch on your life, Rashmi. Okay. The second part, when I answer, I will speak about how to integrate, that is life management. So what I was actually talking to Sangeeta about, that has the aspect of life management, which I'll go to. Are you okay with that? So two parts. So let me begin with the first part. What is the anubhav of sadhana itself that you should have in your life? Okay. And I have said this so many times that whenever a sadhak has a guru, a mentor, a teacher, an acharya, they automatically get the anugraha of sadhana. You got the blessing. So Ishvara and the forces of nature, Purusha, Prakriti, Shiva, Shakti, they have blessed you. You've got the anugraha. Now, once you have got the anugraha, will the anugraha ever go away from you? Will it? It will never, no? And that's the first thing that a sadhak needs to understand, that if you've been blessed by your Ishvara, if you've been blessed by your Guru, that blessing, that anugraha will never go away. It's in your system. And that's the power of Ishvara, that's the power of your Guru. And hence, not everybody is a Guru. When your Guru has blessed you with a certain knowledge, certain paddhati, it will stay with you forever. However, what you need to do, one of the simplest things in busy life, what you need to do to have the anubhav, I use that word anubhav. So to have the anubhav, one of the first things you need to do, remember, is the word smaran. Write that word down, everybody. Smaran. What is smaran? Remembering. Remembering your Ishvara. Remembering your Guru. Remembering the paddhati that you've been taught. Okay? Like in Pranava Sadhana, Rashmi and others, if I have talked about a certain way of doing Pranava Sadhana at the chakras, or in Swara Prayoga or Swara Yoga, if I have taught you a certain way of focusing on exhalation only, just do the smaran of that. You're in a cab, you're going to office. Just replay the technique in your head. Can we do that? How much time does it take?
Okay.
Right? Make sense? Smaran. Just do the smaran. Your Guru has said this technique will take 9 cycles of 9 breaths each. That makes it what? Multiplied. Okay. However, when you ask your Guru, they will also give you some short techniques. Like I often say, you can compress a technique into 9 seconds, 9 minutes, and you can expand it to 9 hours, 9 days, 9 weeks, 9 months also. You heard this, Rashmi, from me several times.
Yes.
So if I have said you need to do 108 Swara Yoga, Prayoga, or Pranava 108 times, 9 multiple is contained in 108. Simply just do 9 of that. You don't have time. So you do Smarana of the Ishvara, Parabrahma. So you pray and pray to Makali, Kal Bhairav, and say, I have only time to do 9. Let me do 9. Just do that. So this is the Laghu Paddhati. So other than Smaran, you can practice certain things in a Laghu Paddhati, shortened form. Okay.
This is very
So,
good. I think, especially in our busy lives, as you mentioned, it's going to be very, very helpful.
yeah, the only caution I have said many times is you have to be completely ekagra and ekroop with that. So mean that. You, you should have such a so much of clarity at that time that these 9 seconds, these 9 minutes, nothing else will enter my aura. Clarified. Clarified. Ascertain it. My time. Nothing else. That is the determination that you need to have as a sadhak when you're doing that Laghu Paddhati. Quickly. Right?
Ekagrata, that is it.
And ekrupta. Ekagrata is the focus, and ekrupta, which means I am the technique. I am the Ishvara. So, see, you all of you have learned Bhairav Sadhana and the japas. So when you're doing that, assume that Bhairava's energy itself is doing the chanting, is doing the japa. Why are you assuming that I am doing the japa and I will get disturbed?
Yeah.
Let Bhairava's energy take over. Or if you're doing pranava, let pranava do its job. If you're doing the swara prakriya, let swara, which is your breath itself, which is your prana shakti itself, take over. That ekrupta and ekagrata has to happen. And it requires a little practice, but it will come. And some of you have experienced it in some of the classes when we did the focusing and then you did the techniques. Simple, right? So smarana, Rashmi, then the laghu, then you have the sakshat method, which is the detailed that you've been taught. Then you do that whenever you have time, right? The other thing is, please always remember, you have guilt from everywhere else in life. Please don't have sadhana guilt. Please don't have adhyatmic guilt. Your guru knows everything. Your guru will look at you and say, you're doing your sadhana or not. So if I say to one of you that I sense distance, then that means somewhere your energy is distant from the sadhana. Catch that. Don't wait and ask guru, hey, what distance are you talking about? Reflect immediately. Guru is always watching. That's the difference between just any teacher, any course, and an acharya or a guru. They will watch you. They will give you instantaneous feedback. They will pull you back. Understand? So have that faith. Don't bring guilt and fear into sadhana, please. There is no space for guilt and fear in a sadhak's life. Fear, because you are then replacing Ishvara Pranidhana with fear. Don't do that. Give the entire space to your Ishvara. Understand? And have no guilt because your guru is there. Even if your guru wasn't there physically, if you have got the anugraha of your guru, you will always be guided. When you turn on your intuition to the radio frequency of your guru, that is what you need to do. That is the ekrupta and the ekagrata you need to have. The ekagrata and the ekrupta that you need to have. Okay? Rashmi, answers your question? Smarana. And even if it is an extended period of time, you have client visits happening and some of you were overseas, you're doing a US timing, or there are extended times. Some of you are in HR and business. You have extended periods like year end is coming, year starting, strategy planning will be coming. Some of you are, entrepreneurs, you are experimenting with a new business or something. In all of these areas, sometimes just stay in touch with your sadhana. Indulge in it when you have time. Don't carry guilt. Now, make sense? So that's the first part of how to deal with sadhana. Now coming to life management. Can I move there, Rashmi and others, if you don't have any questions on this part that I covered?
Okay. Yes.
Now, I will turn the heat on a little bit in life. Now, this is where, as your guru, I'm going to hold all of you responsible. Let's do mathematics. 1 hour out of 24 hours is what percentage? Some of you maths geniuses need to give me that percentage. 1 hour out of 24 hours is how much percentage? Roughly 4%. Yes?
Yeah, 4-5%.
Roughly 4%. Okay. Okay. Take out 8 hours, 7 hours of sleeping. Okay. Take it out completely. You have 17 hours left. What is 1 hour out of 17 hours? Roughly 6%. Yes. Okay. To all of you sadhaks, is 6% of a day too much to invest in your adhyatmik unnati, your spiritual progress, that will make sure you get the results of everything else in life? It's a simple question you need to ask. Can I make 1 hour of time, which is 6% of my waking up time? Can you invest? 6 to 7% invest. Huh? So, in life management, I am going to invite you to first ask this question: do I want this really badly? There's a very famous story. So, Swami Vivekananda went to Ramakrishna Paramahansa and kept pestering him. I want to experience God. 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 Ramakrishna Paramahansa, being who he was, he used to give him some technique here, some technique there, some guidance there. And the intense person that Swami Vivekananda was, he'll keep coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back. One day he reached where Ramakrishna Paramahansa was taking a bath. Obviously, again, the young enthusiast is now irritating. So that's the other side of Paramahansa, which was there, that he also had these quirky ways of teaching. He grabs hold of Vivekananda, young Vivekananda, and pushes him underwater and keeps him there. Keeps him there like he's almost gasping for his last few breaths. Takes him out and asks him, "What did you want when you were down there?" He said, "Air." "Come back to me when you want God as badly as that." Okay. So on the life management side, I, as your guru, I will never dictate how much time you should spend in sadhana. As your mentor, as your coach, as your friend, as whatever you consider me, I have always given you the guidance of how you can do things. My only question to you is, do you want your God, your union, your spiritual experience as badly as you want air if you were completely choked right now? And for that, is 6% or 7% of your day too much to invest? That's an honest question you need to answer. Okay. The other thing is, I have to, as your guru, lead by example. So I will only say that what I have done is, there are certain parts of my morning or day, whichever is possible, depending on where I am across the globe or what I am doing or what my schedule is. I say that I will not do anything during this time. No socializing, no nothing, no work, no reading, no taking classes, no attending calls. I will do this sadhana. And Ma Bhagwati has then supported me that I've been able to land up there and do whatever the best. Am I able to do all my prakriyas, all the things that I have learned from my gurus? And all of you know that I have two gurus when it comes to the Adhyatmic path. Am I able to practice everything all the time? No, not really. But am I able to choose, pick and choose? Yes. Is this on life management? The other thing on life management you need to remember is, you don't need to practice all the things all the time. Choose a certain things for a week and practice that. So if you have to go deep, do that. Like recently, all of you were initiated into a certain japa. And you all know what I'm talking about. And I very clearly said that the process that I gave you will take you about 25 to 30 minutes. Do that for 108 days. Make sense? So that was the focused 108 days that I said you need to stick this to. So that's the way that you can selectively manage your sadhana. So one part of it, look at the smarana of the sadhana, look at a Laghu Paddhati, look at the entire sakshatkar of the process. On the other side, do your life management and whatever sadhana you're doing, focus on it in depth. Everyone, is that clear? Is that making sense?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. So all of you can ask a follow-up question or you can ask a new question.
If nobody has a follow-up question, there's one question that keeps on coming in my mind.
Go for it. Yes.
Well, I'll also share how it actually started. So I started the sadhana, and I remember you very clearly mentioning that now you're entering into this journey. Be very careful of what you think.
Hmm.
That may make a lot of impact on maybe on your life, on others' life.
Yeah.
Now, my question is that as a human, we have a lot of thoughts coming in.
Hmm.
At times, we feel, or I would say, I feel a lot of negativity or negative thoughts that come in my mind.
Hmm.
Now, does this mean that my sadhana is not successful, or or should I ask as like this, or does successful sadhana mean that you should always think positive, whatever the situation is?
Okay.
Then, and if my sadhana is strong, then why I have negative thoughts?
Lovely. Makes sense. Beautiful question. And it'll also help you assimilate several things that we have learned in the last 6-7 months, Gaurav. So the first thing, remember, till the human nervous system, central nervous system is functional, you will get your thoughts. And like my Guruji explains this so beautifully when we are doing our Kriya Yoga Sadhana, etc., that your pituitary and pineal glands, till the time that they are functioning, you will get thoughts. So there is no way you can cut out thoughts. Anybody who says you can completely be thoughtless by doing this meditation, that it's all farce. If your human nervous system is functioning, you will get thought. Is that clear? Because it's an electric signal. The moment electric signal enters the brain, it is going to activate some circuitry. The moment that circuitry gets activated, or some episodic memory gets activated, is going to give you some thoughts. I don't want to get into technicalities of memory and hardwiring and all of that, but very simply, learn how the brain functions. You'll understand. That's one. Number two is the answer to your question, which is why do you get negative thoughts or how to get rid of your negative thoughts, is very simple. What I was saying to Sangeeta also at the beginning of the session, along with clarity of your sadhana, you need to have Shuddhi. Make sense? So that Shuddhi is going to be very important. So physical Shuddhi, so the kind of food that you eat, the exercise that you do, basically you have to balance your Rajas and Tamas and increase your Sattva Guna. The moment that happens, you'll automatically get the cleansing. Second is your Manasik Shuddhi. Within that, one of the biggest things is about your clarity of values, how you need to operate, how you interpret, how you think about others. Why we get negative thoughts? Either you have an animosity, or you have, some other challenge that you're viewing, or you want life to be in a certain ways, for which, Gaurav, remember I've in detail discussed about the Shadvikaras, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, right? And along with that, if you have Roga, Dosha, Bhaya, Klesha, Santapa, these are all things which are natural human states. And when those happen, you are bound to get these kind of thoughts which originate from them. Nothing wrong with that. Don't interact with it. Observe. The more you become an observer, and we have spoken about being an observer also, the more you will get your results. However, the answer is have clarity of your life and sadhana. Jivan ko sadho. Keep the life tightened up and have Shuddhi in your life at all those 4 levels. Physical Shuddhi, mental Shuddhi, karmic Shuddhi, and Adhyatmic Shuddhi. If you do that Shuddhi, you will be stable. Is that clear?
Understood. So, if just to rephrase it, say the thoughts will probably come in. It is what I allow to enter in my mind and affect my mind is probably that is where my
what you
sadhana.
interact with. What you interact with.
What I interact.
None of us allow thoughts to come or go. They originate. Something can trigger it. And that's the complex way the human brain works. But for that, your rasas, which is your sattvic rasa, rajasic rasa, tamasic rasa, then the balance or imbalance of the panchabhutas in your body, your vikaras, all of these play a role. So let's not go into why they happen. They will happen. The point is not to interact with them. The point is keeping as much Shuddhi as possible so that the environment in which that thought is originating, that itself is cleaned. So cleaner environment, cleaner thought. So See, it's very simple. Imagine if you're walking in a garden which has beautiful roses or beautiful fragrant flowers. Will it trigger positive memories?
Yes.
But if you have a long lost love with whom you used to grow, then what will happen?
Well, in that also, the mind looks at the positive things that have happened in that relationship. Probably.
Unless you are like Hi Ram, like that sad statue. If you want to be a sad statue, you can be a sad statue anywhere. Yeah. But then
Yeah,
that's where
right.
your Karma Yoga says, let me move forward, let me be in the present. And mental attentiveness says, let me be ekagra, ekrup, and we move forward. That mindfulness will help you. Yeah.
The thing of thoughtlessness, I remember, Dada, how a guru is always connected. I remember when I was trying a particular technique, and you just all of a sudden, it surprised me that you said, "Are you trying something new?" Because you look off. And then you helped me get back to this. So I experienced that Deva Anugrah and the Guru Anugrah at that point in time. How you said the Guru is always connected. I recall that.
Mahakal and Mahakali are watching all of you all the time.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. If anyone has a follow-up question or a new question.
Yes, Dada.
Yes, Harshad.
So just continuing from what Gaurav was mentioning, where it's one part is about thoughts that come to you now, but when thoughts keep coming to you for a period of time, they eventually accumulate as long-held emotions or long-held beliefs. While thought we interact with, how is it that we can let go of these held emotions or deep held beliefs which have come to us over a period of time? And like you mentioned, it's Adambar is not sadhana. And these adambars that we've created for ourselves, how can we let go of, or how can a sadhak let go of it?
Super. So again, this comes back to the focus, the basic focus of sadhana, Harshad, like what I was telling Sangeeta right at the beginning. What is sadhana? It has those three parts. Swadhyay, which is Jnana Yoga. I'm understanding who I am, what makes me, etc. My own understanding of my emotions, etc. Is it making sense, Harshad? That's the first aspect of sadhana. We all need to act. And we every now and then we keep going into all these reflections. Second thing, you need to have karma yoga. You have certain thoughts and certain things in life. Either they are about unaccomplished dreams, some challenges in relationships, some financial challenges, something to do with your career. These are the thoughts that you get, or your health. Then you have to do the karma in that area, Harshad. Make sense? And while doing that karma, you have to make sure that Ishvara Pranidhana, your bhakti is supreme. You have to have Shraddha, Saburi, Samarpan on your Ishta Devata. Whoever is your chosen God, you have to have that full faith. Once you do these three things over a period of time, the behavior, the thought, the situation, all of them will resolve. You want to resolve your thought, but you don't take an action. It's not going to get resolved. You want to resolve your thought and your behavior, and you leave everything to God. You will get results, but you have to take the action at least, right? So karma yoga is very important in that sense. Then to figure out the right way, you have to do Shraddha Sabri Samarpan to Ishvara, and that will give you the right guidance and your guru's guidance. So you have to submit. And remember, I've said this so many times that, in between sessions, in between kriyas, all of you keep getting these various adeshas that do this about your life. And some of it comes intuitively in your sadhana, some of it directly comes from your guru. So you have to practice that adesha. And that's a good quality of a spiritual sadhak, following an adesha. So when you do Jnana Yoga practices, when you do your Karma Yoga practices, when you do your Bhakti Yoga practices, all of them put together will settle the problem permanently from the root. You ignore one of these three pillars, something or the other is bound to go wrong. Is that making sense, Asha?
Yes.
Yes.
Ji.
In fact, I
as
remember in a Gita, sorry.
Go on, Harshad.
uh,
Your connection is a little off. Finish what you were asking. Yeah.
yeah. So I was saying that one of these adambars that I have held for a long time is that these stories that I've heard from childhood, or the stories that have been told of how a sadhak is and essentially we have always seen a end product of a sadhak. We've seen gods and lords and people who are in Himalayas, and we've always seen a product, the outcome of what a sadhak needs to be. But none of the stories that at least I have heard of told me how the journey of a sadhak really is. And I think one of the adambars that I've held for life is you know it's unattainable. It's too long a journey, or it's too an impossible a journey, because the role models, so to say, I'm loosely using this word, but the role models we've had are far beyond and far unattainable.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that sometimes derails a lot of sadhaks. They try to copy the sadhana of others. Remember, all of you have a unique connection with your God. Please follow your path. Don't try to copy anybody else's path. Right? Somebody who knows 108 techniques, maybe sitting in Himalayas and practicing things, but you have learned one technique earnestly from your guru, and you follow guru's adesh of doing it constantly for 108 days. You may get a far superior result than somebody sitting out there. I always say this, and Shiva has said this so beautifully, that a sadhak living in society, doing something for himself, his family, and all the others, sometimes produces much greater results than somebody who's cut off from society and gone off into the hills. Right? That's another way. So, for a grihasta, that sadhana that we talk about, just stick to that. It'll work. Don't try to make someone who's a sannyasi your idol. That's not going to be the idea. Make sense? Is that clear, everyone? I think Harshad's
Yes.
connection dropped, but
Yes. Dada, in fact, it reminds me of what you keep telling us about Sampurna Samarpan. I think that is what would lead to a lot of settling of our emotions, of the stories that we hold, the narratives that you help us, actually deal with. And in a Gita class, you had told us that how it's when there was a Sampurna Samarpan by Arjuna that Krishna started the Gita treatise. So that comes to me.
yeah, I guess. And if you see that vulnerability that Arjun showed at that point in time, when he said, "My Gandhi is slipping off from my hands. My
Yes,
my
yes.
body feels powerless. The mind is not
Correct.
able to fathom what I should do." And that's when he says, "Hey Madhav, what should I do?" So sometimes
Yes.
when we drop all our pretenses and ego and everything, and then just stand completely nagra in front of our Ishvara and say, "What do I do now? You take control of your life." Then I think sometimes the real sadhana begins for many of us.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And in fact, to a large extent, that one of your recent videos about the current geopolitical chaos and what a sadhak can do amidst this answered it to a large extent. But I would want to, for the benefit of all of us in this class and the audience, would like to bring this up in terms of why can't there be continual goodness in the world? That keeps coming to my head, that why don't we be good all the time? And it'll be such a beautiful place that we live in.
So we have to understand that nobody appreciates light unless there is darkness. Right? The moment the Jivatma separates from the Paramatma, there are bound to be some challenges that the Jivatma is going to create. Let's understand it as simple as that. It's a responsibility of each Jivatma to find their way back to Paramatma. And that is the cycle of life. Look, if everything is picture perfect, where will the flow of life be?
Oh,
For Shakti to flow, for Shakti herself to flow and do the Srijan, you have to have all of these challenges floating around, right? If everybody is completely vileen in bhakti, if everybody is completely in a in a trance, or what we call a samadhi avastha, will there be any flow of life?
right.
And this world becomes nirarthak then, right?
Correct.
So for Shakti to do what it needs to do, for it to churn, for it to bring out meaning, for it to bring improvement, for it to bring good, some of these things have to exist. That's the law of nature. It will forever. right? So from the origin itself, you have had, the Deva Pravritti, the Manusha Pravritti, the Asuri Pravritti. If we look at our Kundali, it very clearly says, do you have the Manusha Guna, or do you have the Deva Guna, or do you have Asuri Guna? Why? It's been there. Rishis have seen that is the law of nature, that you will be born with some of those pravrittis. And each one of us has these. Each one of us has the element of tamas, the rajas, the sattva. Some
Yes.
of those natural laws were designed in such a way by the creator, by the creation itself, that life would have flow. Only when there are imbalances, Sangeeta, will life have a flow. If everything is
Mm.
balanced, where will the flow be?
Yes. True. True. Very
Yes.
true.
There is only one place where there is no need for any flow. Think about that. That is when, Sadashiv and Ma Shakti are one.
Mm.
That's the only place where there is no need for a flow. You look at all of Trudevs, all of Trudevis, in that moment where you say, Brahmaji is wanting to learn and discover about the universe, but entire knowledge is what Ma Saraswati. Bring them together, there is no flow. That's the only place no flow can exist. You bring the Sanchalak of this universe, which is uh, uh, Lord Vishnu, and Malakshmi, who is all the things that manifest in our life. You bring them together, there is no need for inflow.
Mm.
You bring Shiva and Shakti together. Shiva, the one in which everything disappears, and Shakti, the life force in everything. That's a place there is no flow. Everywhere else there is flow. You understand? So the moment we are
Yes.
separated from Tridevs and Tridevis, the flow will happen. And when the flow happens, the dark and the light both will flow together, isn't it?
Yes.
So let's not even pray for an utopian world. Then the world will stop existing. Because then we will be in the union of the Tridevs and the Tridevis.
Correct.
If
That's
life
beautiful.
if life will be, there will be imbalance. If
That's
life
quite an aha moment for me.
if life will
That.
be, there will be these coexist. That's what makes us seek, no? Like imagine all of
Yes.
you, if everything was picture perfect in your life, would you even seek the path of Adhyatma? Because if your life had to be picture perfect, you would be fully in the Adhyatmic realization. Then you would be one with God,
Yeah.
right? Keep that in mind.
God. That's good.
Super.
Thank you.
I think we have been in this conversation for quite some time now. If you don't have any separate questions, then I would suggest that we wrap it up for today and we'll do a follow-up conversation. How's that? Are we good to wrap up
Yes.
now?
Jida.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Ji Guru.
So, how would you want to wrap it up, everyone? Any comments, any clarifications from anyone, or would anyone want to do a full wrap up?
Just to the last point that Sangeeta had raised, I wanted to clarify. So, because there's Maya in the world, which is why all this happens, we are all
What is Maya?
Maya is all the attractions and the distractions and
Everything is Ma in her flow. Okay. Ma allows your imagination to play with this world and see the world that you want to be. Right? If we all see what Ma wants to show us, where will the Maya be? So Maya itself is Ma's way of saying you either see what you want or you see what I want to show you.
yes.
What we see or what she wants to show us, both of them are her. That's Ma.
But if we keep Shuddhi, then we will see what she wants to show us.
And that's why I keep saying Shuddhi. So if you want to really experience Shakti in its true essence, if you want to reach Parashakti, the Adi Shakti, her true form, you have to then see Shakti as it flows in the world. You have to see the world as it is, not as you want it to be, not as you want to interpret, right? Somebody said something. You can see it as somebody said something or somebody abused you or somebody praised you. It's your choice. You see it as an abuse or you see it as a praise, then you're seeing Maya. Somebody said something, it was a moment gone by, then you're seeing Shakti in action, in flow. So start experiencing life as it is. Yeah, you have to see all of life aggregated like that to experience Shakti, which is why sadhana, which is why you have to go through your Jnana Yoga, you have to go through your Karma Yoga, you have to go through your Bhakti Yoga. Experience her. This
And
world is,
therefore the responses will come, not reactions.
when you're with Shakti, she takes over.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I see that has also answered my question in another form, as in,
Yeah.
why the thoughts come. So when we are in that flow, that would not naturally, we would not have those thoughts.
Lovely. Good. Okay. So are all of us good to wrap up now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So thank you for all your questions. I think it gave all of you a chance to understand several things truly deeply, and I'm sure this will also help many others who will watch what you asked and watch what the answers were to progress on their own path. So stay blessed, all of you. Stay under the guidance of Mahakal and Mahakali. I will see all of you soon next Saturday. Till then, Jai Mahakal.
Khan.
Jai
Jai
Mahakal. Jai Mahakal.